live from iRacing's virtual Phoenix Raceway in Avondale, Arizona. Welcome, sim racing fans, to round 13 of the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series, the Duel in the Desert 150, live on Racecraft TV. Happy that you're all able to join us tonight on this beautiful Friday evening, wherever you're tuning in around the world. I'm your host, Joshua Lee. Alongside me in the commentary booth is Jordan Hicks. And Jordan, the championship continues as we go into the desert here of Phoenix. A really challenging track that these drivers have ahead of them, but taking a look at the schedule, only 2 rounds remain before we make that cutoff of the top 16 for the playoffs. If they're not in that top 16 yet, the pressure is going to be on.
You know, definitely with winding down how fast we're going throughout these races, so these drivers are really running out of time to really make sure they get into those playoffs, because if you don't get in, it's going to be really bumming for you because you raced all this season trying so hard and unfortunately didn't make it. But you know, Stephen Thomas, he's on the top of the leaderboard this season so far with 553 points. A really solid season for him. But Josh, I'm looking forward to tonight's race here at Phoenix.
Stephen Thomas at the top of the board currently. Painter, Richards, Peacock, Bradley, Doucette, McKinnon, LaBeouf, Meza, Cinnamon, Shepard, Knott, Bullock, Zimmerman, Mata, and Quinn are all currently above that top 16. Everybody else will be looking to try and get above that cut line, including Schrage, Williams, Rivera, and Sickles, who currently sits in P20. Let's take a look at where we are when it comes to the iRacing service. We are at the virtual Phoenix Raceway. Opened in 1964, has become now the championship round of the NASCAR Cup Series, Xfinity Series, and Truck Series. 1 mile in length. This track is challenging as it is a short track, only being 1 mile in length, and races like one as well. You dive into turn number 1, very, very tight corner, and then you open up onto the backstretch. You can cut that dog leg that you can see however you want. It is completely open, and then getting down into 3 and 4, flat corner. You need to be careful when getting back on the throttle. Let's take a look at the race analysis as qualifying continues its way through. 2 minutes remaining in qualifying. 150 laps will race tonight. 30 lap stage number 1. The 30 lap stage number 2 to end at lap 60, and then we go racing to the end. 90 laps in that final stage. You better be careful, because with that 90 laps, you do need to make a pit stop at some point during that run. Very important when you do end up making that pit stop, you can get off and on pit road relatively clean. So continuing on with the pre-race, and minute and a half remaining in qualifying. Jordan, tonight is going to be the night that a lot of drivers, I think, are looking for those big points, because we go to Chicagoland. It's a bit more of a cookie-cutter intermediate track. Tonight, for the short track guys, it's a little bit more of an opportunity for them to be able to get themselves up and into the playoffs and in that top 16. They're not already there.
You know, definitely, and it's going to be a hard one for those guys who really like those longer tracks. So it's a mix of both worlds, like we had at Martinsville. It was for the shorter track guys, and we saw a lot of guys who really prefer the longer sort of tracks up there in that top pack there too. So I'm looking forward to see who's going to walk away victorious here tonight and who is going to be in that leading pack.
We have about 29 drivers who are looking to take the green flag here tonight, and we're glad that all of you could join us here on Racecraft TV tonight. About 45 seconds remaining here in qualifying before we get ready to go racing tonight, and expecting a lot of great racing here from the virtual Phoenix Raceway. And remember, the playoffs are on the horizon. We begin at Atlanta in 2 weeks' time. 3 races with 16 drivers in the playoffs. At the conclusion of those 3, we go racing for 2 races with the top 8 that still remain in the playoff and in the championship hunt. And then from there, after 2 races, we cut it down to the final 4 and go racing for the championship in the finale. Qualifying has wrapped its way up, and it is time to take a look at your starting grid as we get ready to go racing here from virtual Phoenix. And walking away with the pole position, it is going to be Corey Saucier in his first start here in the series. Walks away with the pole position. Kyle Hess, Keith Bradley, Stephen Thomas, and Nathan Mann, the top 5, with Ted Wade, another new name, on that third row, starting in P number 6. Ryan Ducom, another new name, to the inside of Brady LaBeouf, Chris Cinnamon, Jose Luis Rivera, the top 10. Devin Painter, Blake Lothian, top 12. Back from there, it's Stephen Gregory, Jacob Klinkart with Raul Meza, your top 15. Michael McKinnon in P16 with Taylor Peacock, 17th, and Robbie Richards rounding out your top 18 on the grid. Looking back from there in the full grid tonight, Ronald Cole, Jeffrey Sickles, top 20, Logan Quinn, Eric Zimmerman, Clint Mata, Bill Lester, the top 24. And rounding out the field, it is Joey Doucette, Brandon Bullock, Dane Hagen, and Cody Knott, all of which did not choose to put in a time for qualifying. So 28 drivers will take the green flag here tonight, as everybody will go racing for the win here from the desert. In the last handful of rounds of the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series, it really has been anybody's guess as to who is going to take the win. And so far this season, it has really been just a who's who of names when it comes to the top of the standings. You think about earlier in the season, we saw a ton of unique winners. We only had 2 drivers who won multiple races. Now we have 3, with Dustin Scruggs joining that list relatively recently as well, grabbing his 3rd win of the season at the Talladega Superspeedway. Pace Truck rolls its way off 1 mile racetrack here of Phoenix, which will be going racing here very soon, as one driver stuck on the grid, not moving. We'll see if they get going here soon, but at the front, the 25 of Corey Saucier, making his first start here in the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series, looking for a good way to begin his career here in the series. He starts on the pole with Kyle Hess to his outside. Ready to go, green flag racing here from virtual Phoenix. Pace car is down and away, and we are racing from the desert. It's round 13. Good start at the front for Corey Saucier. He gets away to a great early lead. Kyle Hess still trying to chase him down. Remember, 30-lap opening stage. We'll be seeing that guaranteed caution coming up soon. But Corey Saucier trying to step away at the front and get a good run going. Kyle Hess trying to chase him down, as Hess currently sits in that second spot. We go back on board with Kyle Hess, and we have him once again in our cameras so we can take a look at him in his sim rig as he races tonight. And Hess just trying to now hold on and keep that second position. Very important for him to not lose one to Stephen Thomas, who sits behind him. Gap still relatively good in between those 2 drivers, but Stephen Thomas is on his tail trying to chase him down, and we'll see if Stephen Thomas can do just that, as They race their way into turns 1 and 2. Hess trying to hold on to P2 now, Jordan. Very important for him to do so, as here comes Stephen Thomas. And Thomas has been one of those drivers all season long who has been one of the dominant ones pretty much everywhere we go. And we take a look at Stephen Thomas in the top box, Kyle Hess in the bottom box as they battle for second place on the racetrack.
And he's only really about a few tenths back from Kyle Hess, so he's really trying to make a move for P number 2. And Josh, usually from what I've noticed, we usually see him start in the back a little bit towards that start of the race, but while we go through the race and are about, say, midway, he gets his way to the top, and he always ends up in that top pack, so like maybe even that top 5. So he's having a great night here at Phoenix and looking to see if he can get any further up.
Going to definitely try and do that, as that becomes the most important thing for a lot of these drivers, is just really try and pick off drivers and work your way up towards the front. And we'll see who is going to do that specifically in this top group here at the front. Pretty interested to see how these drivers are going to do when it comes to this race. But Corey Saucier at the front of the field, definitely showing why he is a threat to be noticed here, as he sits at the front, has not left that top spot just yet, and currently working our way about a third of the way through stage number 1. Looking relatively good up at the front of the field and keeping everybody at bay, which is the important thing for now, and pulling away at the front as well as he tries to keep that momentum going. We go back, battle for what looks to be the 8th spot on the racetrack. Brady LaBeouf currently sits P8, trying to hold off Ted Wade in the 2. We do apologize for a bit of the technical difficulties that we are having. We will get them fixed as we work our way into the middle portion of the stage. As we go on to lap number 10, we're going to get these technical difficulties taken care of before we end here stage number 1. Don't go anywhere. We will be back momentarily here for the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series on Racecraft TV. Welcome back to live coverage of the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series live on Racecraft TV. We do apologize once again for the technical issues. We are back and giving you live pictures here from virtual Phoenix. It's still the 25 at the front of the field, and Corey Saucier with a great early start to this race, trying to impress everybody out here at the front, because bit of a stressful night, especially for the number 25 Jordan, but the caution flag has come out on the racetrack, and it looks like issues for Jose Luis Rivera, way up out of the groove. We'll see what happened for Rivera, as it looked like he just went way up out of the groove there in the corner. Let's see what happened here, Jordan. This is the replay for Jose Luis Rivera.
And you can see he just tried to make it a little bit 3 wide and got nicked a little bit by a few drivers. You can see Raul Meza was made contact with that 97, so not what he really wanted here tonight already. Luckily, it was a little tap, so not a lot of damage to that 97 machine. It's going to bring our first caution out, but luckily not a lot of damage for that 97 machine.
Definitely able to keep going, as barely hit the wall, if at all, so he is still good to go when it comes to damage. Doesn't need to come into the pits to get that damage repaired. But speaking of the pit lane, not expecting anybody here. Fuel window is roughly about 65 to 70 laps, so in theory they can make it to the end of stage number 2 on fuel, and it looks like they are going to choose to do exactly that. And tire wear at Phoenix, not a huge thing that we're going to talk about. It will be talked about, and it is something that we need to watch, but they can make it to the end of the stage on tires, and doesn't look like anybody exactly willing to come into the pit lane, sacrifice some track position just for some fresh tires at this stage of the race. So everybody's staying out on the racetrack, and we'll continue to see this as we work through this race and continue to see how this pit strategy and how the tire strategy is going to eventually come into play here from the virtual Phoenix Raceway. Once again, glad all of you are tuning in here on Racecraft TV. I'll apologize for those early technical difficulties. Have gotten them fixed up, and we are resuming flag-to-flag coverage here of the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series. And once again, getting excited for the playoffs. Chicagoland, the cutoff race in 1 week's time. Then we'll be going right into the playoffs with the Sweet 16. We'll be cutting the field in half after those Sweet 16 races and go to 2 8-driver playoff races. And then, of course, we'll have the championship finale at the end of the season. But so excited for what is on the horizon for this series, and we'll be bringing you all of the coverage live here on Racecraft TV all the way through to the end of the season. And excited to bring all of that to all of you this season. Ready to go back to racing. It's still Corey Saucier at the front of this field. And sitting in second place, it is Kyle Hess. And we're going to go on board with Kyle Hess as he takes the green flag here in this first restart of the night. Time is running out. Not a ton of time remaining here in stage number 1 to grab that win. You're on board with Hess as he starts outside of the front row. Battle for second place is heating up as take a look at Keith Bradley go to the outside. He wants a bit of the pie here at the front of the field, trying to go for that second spot, and that's exactly what Keith Bradley is going to do. Up in a second he goes. Battle a little bit further back as it becomes a hornet's nest around the dog leg. Chris Cinnamon in a fight with, I believe, Ryan Ducom, and now Cinnamon goes to the inside of Steven Thomas. Thomas trying to hold on to that spot. Doesn't look like he is able to do so, or he is able to do so, excuse me, able to hold off Cinnamon for the time being. How long can he hold him off is the big question. As we go side by side, there is the 23 of Steven Thomas. You're taking a look in his sim rig on the left side of your screen. The battle for that 4th spot on the right side of your screen as Thomas tries to hold off the number 3 of Chris Cinnamon. And Jordan Steven Thomas doing a great job holding on to P4 right now as Chris Cinnamon tries to get a piece of it. Cannot do so, and they've already caught up to Kyle Hess as well. Gonna make this a 3-car battle.
And you can see everyone's just really trying to run away. And, you know, Thomas is doing a great job at really staying calm and collected. And that's the key here, especially racing in these trucks, because you don't want to overconfident yourself, even if that's a word. It just, you just want to stay really consistent the whole entire night and just really stay on your A game, because Thomas is doing really well. He's side by side with Kyle Hess right now, which he was actually bumper to bumper with for P2 and 3. So he's really trying to defend that spot and really trying to make it up to the top pack.
Interesting to see as they race through the dog leg, just who exactly goes like way down to the bottom of the dog leg and who stays a little bit up on the racetrack. And we'll take a look at a bit of a wide shot here as they come across the start finish line. Steven Thomas holding on to P3. Kyle Hess now into 4th as Ryan Ducom in that number 55 goes on by the 3. Let's see who goes all the way down. You can see the 55 goes a little bit down. Kyle Hess stays above that line. And that basically opens the door for Ryan Ducom to work his way to the inside. Bit interesting, Jordan, because normally with that dog leg, not really seen as a shortcut. You're not gaining too much time by going way down, but it looks like maybe Kyle Hess's truck isn't handling that well on the outside of that dog leg, and just for those drivers going down all the way to the bottom like Ducom is here, gives them a little bit more of an added advantage, and Ducom's going to go right on by the 86.
And I've also noticed too that this outside line here at Phoenix can definitely be one to handle, because your truck just wants to completely slide up to the top part of the track, which seems like it's happening to the 86 of Kyle Hess. Yes, he's fighting it, but he's sort of not trying to fall back, which a lot of people are diving down to the bottom, like you were mentioning, Josh. Like, he's side by side right now with Chris Cinnamon. He's trying to make that outer line on the track work, but you can see Cinnamon goes right on by. So maybe if the 86 starts to follow everybody down low, that might be a sign to help him to get back up in the spots that he was already in, but you just got to really stay consistent and really keep control of that 86 machine in order to do so.
S currently runs P6 and has fallen back a little bit. Could be because of a bit of tire wear on that car. Brady LaBeouf's in a bit of a hornet's nest. Ted Wade, Nathan Mann, two new faces here for the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series battle in front of this group. Here comes 29, a man to the inside, or made a look to the inside. He did fall into line here as these roughly about 6 cars here racing together. As take a look at the bold move. Robbie Richards trying to go way down to the inside on Jacob Klinkart and Devin Painter, almost making it 3 wide there for a moment. As we go on board with the number 42, trying to hold off all of these drivers. And there's the 42 of Jacob Klinkart. Looking in his sim rig, and then off the back of the number 42, trying to hold by Painter and Richards. Luckily doing a relatively good job of it for the moment. As coming across the line this time by Corey Saucier in the number 25. 2 laps to go here in the stage. And wonderful to see such a new name here in the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series have such good luck here at the start. And I don't want to call it luck, but I do think it's a little bit of beginner's luck. He's qualified on the pole, first race here in this series, and he is looking for a sweep here of stage number 1. Jordan, great start for Corey Saucier. He could not have asked for anything else.
And, you know, definitely, especially 8/10 ahead of P number 2, so really solid job for the 25 machine here in the first stage. And Josh, from the looks of it, he's going to take home that stage one victory.
Working his way through the dog leg and into turns 3 and 4. The number 25 of Corey Saucier, his first start here in the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series. Also going to walk away with his first stage win. Checkered flag falls for Corey Saucier. Yellow flag flies. Field will work their way into the pit lane. And we'll take a short break here on Racecraft TV. But what a way to begin this night for Corey Saucier. He grabs the win here in stage number 1. Green flag for stage 2 is coming up next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hickory on a beautiful 80-degree Easter Saturday. Mike.
Welcome back to the live coverage of the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series, live on Racecraft TV. Happy that all of you are along for the ride with us here tonight. Joshua Lee, Jordan Hicks with you here in the booth as we get ready to go back to racing under the green flag here from virtual Phoenix Raceway. Field is 2x2, ready to go back underway. This stage ends on lap number 60. It's Corey Saucier still at the front, leading the field back to the green flag. And what a start for Corey Saucier, once again at the front of the field. He pulls away by a considerable margin over everybody else in the field. And caution flag is already going to fly. It looks like an issue in the back. I believe it was some sort of issue towards the back. I believe Blake Lothian might have been involved in this one. Does look like he was. We'll go back for a replay. Not sure if it was exactly Blake Lothian. It looked like there were some sort of issues after this restart towards the back here. Oh, yeah, there it is. I believe it was the 17 of Brandon Bullock who went around, and it looked like a single truck spin coming through turn 2. Easy to single truck spin through this corner, especially Jordan. The truck just gets so light coming off of turn number 2, and nothing Bullock could have done. He goes spinning around.
Especially when you have fresh tires, so when they're not warmed up or anything, you really got to be careful on how you get on the gas. No matter what restart you're on, you could have heated up tires and you could hit the throttle so hard to a point where your truck completely goes around like the 17 did. So luckily no damage for him, so he's going to go right back in line with everybody else, and luckily no damage for everyone else. So this is going to be another restart. And Josh, the 25 of Corey Saucier right now is looking pretty fast on the 55 of Ryan Ducombe, so looking forward to this next green restart.
And the two drivers at the front of this field as well, two new faces here in the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series. Great to see this new talent really thriving here and running up at the front, and both of them looking like strong competitors to walk away with the win tonight. And we'll see who is going to be able to do that. If it will be Saucier, if it will be Ducombe, or if it will be Thomas, Cinnamon, Hess, the drivers that we have seen that have been quick this season and really who have been here the whole season, running the whole season, and they have been some of the fastest drivers when it comes to this series this season, and they're looking to get a win as much as everybody else is in this field. Remember, Taylor Peacock got his first win 1 week ago, and remember, it's not win and you're in, but for a driver close to the cut line, a win is going to do you a world of good when it comes to the points. Ready to go back to racing. At the front, it's Corey Saucier, Ryan Ducombe to his outside, and they are ready to retake the green flag here at the front. Stephen Thomas in the 23 sits himself in P number 3 at the moment inside of row number 2. We go on board with him for the restart. Thomas unfortunately cannot make up any positions there on the restart. He still sits in P number 3 as Corey Saucier tries to pull away. Issues at the back. It looks like Cody not falling to Rivera and Nathan Mann. Closer up towards the mid-pack. Battle for the 10th spot currently between Lothian and Richards, two of the fastest drivers this season. Lothian trying to make the inside line work. Can't do it. Robbie Richards stays to his outside as they dive back to the corner. Issues at the back. Eric Zimmerman and Brandon Bullock get tangled. Caution flag is going to refly. Eric Zimmerman involved in this one. We take a look back at the replay. Happened on the front straightaway here. As we take a look at the 94 of Eric Zimmerman. Oh, loses it. Off of turn number 4, overcorrects and ends up in the middle of the track. Jordan's another one of those easy things to do, losing it off of turn number 4. A flat corner causes that truck to get insanely upset when it works its way out of that corner, and unfortunately it just bit Eric Zimmerman a little bit too bad.
And that's the thing too, a lot of these drivers, when they see a self-spin, that's sort of like, how do you check up from that? And it's so unexpected because you could go through a corner perfectly fine, and then that next corner, you may not even see it. A car might be completely around, so here you are having to brake check as hard as you can with possibly even drivers behind you. So it's definitely like one of those curveballs that the racetrack throws at you, especially on those flat parts, is when someone spins, you really got to be on your A game because you don't want to get caught up in a wreck with somebody just completely spinning in the middle of the racetrack.
Well, we are getting ready to go back to green here soon. And last week at Martinsville, we did add this and have been using it a good bit since in all the other series here on Racecraft TV, but this is the most we've ever had in here at once. We have 5 of the drivers here in the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series lending us their webcams to take a look at all of them, and it is amazing to see everybody's support for this series and all of them giving us the opportunity to take a look at them while they race and while they have their game faces on when it comes to this series. Fantastic to see with all of those drivers. We have Jeffrey Sickles, Stephen Thomas, Kyle Hess, Jacob Klinkart, and Michael McKinnon with us on cameras tonight, and we thank them for once again lending us their faces tonight, and we can take a look at them while they do work in their sim rigs to try and race up here at the front. So field back to 2x2. We get ready to take the green flag once again. And up front, it is still Corey Saucier who will lead the field back to the green flag. 25 has led every lap since the drop of the green flag tonight. Does Ryan Ducob have anything for his fellow newcomer, the 25 of Corey Saucier? Saucier starts to the inside, Ducom to the outside, and the green flag is back out. We're racing again from Phoenix as drivers scatter, already going 3 wide towards the back to try and avoid, I believe, a driver who was getting checked up, and Robbie Richards goes around. Caution flag has reflown, and Robbie Richards is up and into the turn number 1 safer barrier with damage as well. One of the faster drivers just taken out. Oh, Keith Bradley in it as well. One other driver gets caught up in it. There's a huge checkup here on the start. They're 4 wide, and contact with the 5 was contact with Ronald Cole. Logan Quinn and Keith Bradley getting caught up in it as well. I'm interested to see where the checkup came from, and maybe if a driver missed a shift. It looks like there was a stack up on the bottom line. Was it Doucette? No, it happened in front of Doucette. Not sure who it was, but they ended up 4 wide. And Richards is the only one that really gets a ton from that. He ends up and into the safer barrier. So that brings us back under the yellow flag. And Corey Saucier in the 25, still at the front. And this stage now going to wind down a bit quicker than it originally was going to, with all of the yellow flags that we are seeing. But still a great effort, Jordan, for Corey Saucier to remain at the top of this field. We know how difficult it can be for drivers to stay up front, especially with the caliber of talent that we have here in this series. But Corey Saucier is doing exactly what he needs to do to stay out in front. He's nailing all of these restarts, and that's been the main game here. It's been a game of restarts.
And I was just about to say, he's been really nailing his restarts. It's really hard too, especially when you have caution after caution. You really need to make sure you nail him in order to stay in that lead, because Ryan Ducom is right behind him in the 55. So whenever that door opens from the 25, the 55 is there and ready to take it. But Corey Saucier has been on his A game tonight. He's ready for whatever curveball has been thrown at him tonight. He's got a long way to go to finish out this race. We've had a lot of cautions, but he's been nailing them, Josh, so a pretty consistent night for him. He's just got to keep it up to make out the end of this stage and walk out with some more points.
Corey Saucier still at the front. Ryan Ducom to his outside. Another one of those newer names, and interested to see what Ducom can do here with these restarts, if he's going to start to read Corey Saucier a little bit differently. Let's see on this restart if Ducom is able to keep up just a little bit quicker. Cinnamon, Thomas, and LaBeouf round out the top 5. Green flag flies again, and Saucier with another dynamite start, already about a 10th and a half ahead of Ducom, and is going to walk away with that lead. As they go onto the back straightaway, everybody gets on here clean. It's 12 to go here in the stage, as Chris Cinnamon goes to the inside of Stephen Thomas, looking for that third spot. Trying to roll that inside line, just cannot do it. Still side by side for third. Stephen Thomas working the outside. Can he clear Chris Cinnamon? No, he cannot. Or yes, he can, excuse me. Cinnamon cannot keep up with Stephen Thomas. Thomas goes up into P3. As the Hornet's Nest continues behind him, Kyle Hess trying to go to the inside of Brady LaBeouf. This is the battle for P5. And Jordan with 10 to go in the stage. Stage points are going to start to become important. Currently, Blake Lothian has that final spot for stage points of P10. Here comes Taylor Peacock, winner from 1 week ago at Martinsville, looking for stage points.
Lothian's got a fast competitor behind him, which is that 81 machine. So if he wants the stage points, he's got to keep up his momentum, because he's really sitting on the edge of that top 10 to actually get those points. So he's just got to make that 59 machine stick to the bottom line, keep it fast. But you can see Taylor Peacock having a pretty solid night trying to get into that top 10 in order to get those stage points. He's just got to be a little quicker in order to get around Lothian if he wants to do so.
Lothian still holds that 10th spot. Here's the battle for third that is continuing, as Stephen Thomas trying to hold off Chris Cinnamon. Cinnamon in the 3. He's only about a 10th and a half back, but still definitely not easy to try and get around any of the drivers here in this field, especially Stephen Thomas, who currently has the points lead and is trying to ultimately hold on to that points lead as we work our way into the playoffs. And hoping to keep that same momentum through the playoffs as well. Time winding down here in the stage as Stephen Thomas is now caught up to Ryan Ducom. Here's the new battle on the racetrack that we need to be watching, but Thomas just hit the wall. He slams the wall off the corner. Here comes Chris Cinnamon. He'll slide right up in front of Stephen Thomas, say thank you very much. And up into third now goes Cinnamon. Jordan taking advantage of one mistake from Stephen Thomas. Now Cinnamon's up into the top 3 spots.
And that just shows you one mistake can cost you your spot on the track, and the 23 got into the wall, and it did happen to him. But he's really on the bumper again of that 3 machine. So Josh, Stephen Thomas is not done fighting because he really wants his position back, and he's really looking to do so as he's going to get right on the back bumper of that 3 machine of Chris Cinnamon.
Trying to take that spot. Battle for 10th on the racetrack as well. Lothian able to get around Wade for 9th, and now Wade going to go into P10. Ted Wade, another one of the new drivers here in the series. Looking to hold on to a top 10 here in his stage. But up front, Corey Saucier pulls away with that lead. Ducom still in second. Here's the battle between Thomas and Cinnamon right now. Thomas looking for that 3rd spot on Chris Cinnamon as we go on board with Stephen Thomas. Currently trying to get by the 3 of Chris Cinnamon. So close, just not enough speed. And you can see Cinnamon pulling away in front of Stephen Thomas. A great run for Cinnamon so far tonight. We've seen a couple of great runs from Cinnamon so far this season. This is definitely one of the better runs that we have seen from that 3 machine this entire season. Trying to keep that train going and keep up those consistent finishes. Still looking for win number 1 is Cinnamon, and looking for win number 1 in his first start is Corey Saucier. Saucier here at the front of this field has led since the outset. Looking to continue the domination with a 2nd stage win on the night. It'll take the white flag here in the stage, this time by. It is 1 to go here in stage number 2. It'll be 2 stage wins on the road to his first win in his first start for Corey Saucier in the 25. He works his way out of the final corner. Checkered flag as stage number 2 is in the air, and Corey Saucier is going to walk away with your stage 2 victory. Yellow flag is called, and the field will work their way now into the pit lane for pit stops under the stage break. We take a short break here on Racecraft TV. Don't go anywhere. More for the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series. We begin stage number 3 right after this. Welcome back to live coverage of the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series live on Racecraft TV. Happy that all of you are along for the ride with us here tonight from virtual Phoenix Raceway. Joshua Leake here with you in the booth, Jordan Hicks alongside as we continue to work under the yellow flag of stage number 2. And Pace Truck will come across the start-finish line this time. Grab one to go, excuse me, before we go back to racing. Bit of an interesting call on the pit lane for Jacob Klinkart in the number 42. As you can take a look at his time in the pit lane, 9.3 in the pit box. Looks like Klinkart going with a 2-tire strategy. That's an interesting one, Jordan, especially with everybody else around him on 4 tires. I cannot see that going particularly well for the 42.
It's going to be interesting to see how it's really going to make that 42 machine really start to handle, because yes, he's sitting P2, but with everybody having most likely a fresh set of 4 Goodyear tires on their trucks, it may outpower him, but I feel like it'd be good for him in a way, because it'll make sure that right side of that truck really sticks to that track and really want to push it to go faster. So interesting to see what he's going to do here as the green flag flies for stage number 3.
Stage 3 is green, and out in front goes Corey Saucier. A great start for him once again, getting the jump over just about everybody else in the field and trying to now run away at the front of the field and grab his first win in his first race. But here comes Ryan Ducom. This is going to be a close battle for the lead as Ducom tries to catch up. Will he be able to is the big question, because these drivers up here at the front, all of them right now where they currently stand are fast, but just about none of them have the pace to keep up with Saucier at the front of the field right now. Issues for Brady LaBeouf. He fell down the order, I believe, went up and out of the groove for a moment. Falls down into P13 on the racetrack currently. Now trying to get himself back up into the top 5. Battle side by side between both Thomas and Klinkart, but also between Painter and Hess, as they both go side by side for P6. Issues in the back. It looks like Taylor Peacock just dropped out of the race server. We'll see if he ends up coming back, but still side by side now between Ted Wade and Kyle Hess. The caution flag is going to fly. Ronald Cole looks like he went around. We'll take a look at this replay here, Jordan, and what happened to Ronald Cole. Looked like he was in the back, and he had to tow himself back to the pit lane, wondering what happened here in turns number 3 and 4.
Trying to make that bottom line stick behind the 7 of Clint Mata, really seeming like solid, and just like that runs it into the inside wall and just sticks down there coming out of turn 4. And that's, Josh, where I feel like most wrecks can happen, because you have so much speed coming out of that turn. Going on that flat front stretch can definitely be a hard obstacle when it comes to racing really quick here at Phoenix.
So that puts us back under the yellow flag, and we are about to go to 80 laps to go, and just continuing to have this stretch of yellow flags. And like we mentioned, Phoenix is a difficult racetrack, and seeing just a lot of struggles from a lot of the drivers here in this field, especially up here at the front, or towards the mid-pack, excuse me, that I should be saying. A lot of drivers just trying to get their bearings on this racetrack and really try and attack it, and only driver who's been able to really do that with a ton of success tonight is at the front, and it is Corey Saucier. He's really the only driver here at the front who has been able to really perform at the front and really be one of the drivers that is dominant. For a first race performance, Jordan, he could not be doing any better. Pole position, win in stage 1, win in stage 2. The only better thing he can do is a race win. He's getting very close to that.
You know, he's got a lot of momentum coming out of every single restart that he's been put through, because he's gotten about, I would say, around maybe 8 cautions with a rough estimate in this whole entire race. So they're all pretty close together too. So that's a lot of restarts that he really got to nail to really stay in that lead. But he came out here to Phoenix and really is putting on a show for everybody, because right as those restarts happen, he's already flying away with about 5/10 to the car behind him. So a really fast car with that 25 machine and Corey Saucier, but he's got a bit to go, but you never know what could happen here, Josh. He's just got to stay consistent and really run his own race.
How consistent can he stay is, I think, the question that we're all wondering is, can he stay consistent enough to really stay at the front? And staying at the front could mean anywhere in the top 5. Staying in the lead, I think, is something that we're wondering if Corey Saucier can do, because we really have only seen him, Jordan, in short runs. I think the longest run we have had might have been beginning of the race, 20 some odd laps. But since then, we have not seen a run longer than that so far tonight. So Corey Saucier could have a short run car, and Ryan Ducom or Chris Cinnamon, Stephen Thomas could have a long run car. We just haven't seen it yet tonight because of the 2 mandatory stage cautions and then the, I believe now, 5 other cautions that we have seen on top of that.
And I do feel like if he were to ever lose that lead to anybody on this racetrack, if he gets a caution, I feel like since he's been nailing his restarts, he'll be right there with him and able to take it back as quick as possible, because how fast of a car he has, especially after those restarts. So I'm interested to see how that 25 machine's really going to work in that long run, but only time will tell, as we're about to go back green here tonight.
They'll come across the line for 77 laps to go. Saucier still at the front. It's Ducom, Cinnamon, Thomas, and Jacob Klinkart, who is holding on to its top 5 even with the 2-tire stop. Great effort from him as we get ready to go back to racing. Saucier up here at the front. You're on board with Stephen Thomas as he retakes the green flag. Stephen Thomas currently running P4 on the racetrack, trying to hold off bit of hard charging drivers behind him, and is able to do that for the moment. And still trying to pull away at the front is Saucier, and doing exactly that, but Ducom has caught up. Here's a side-by-side battle for the lead. Saucier with a little bit of connection issues, able to keep himself in the race server. Ducom now trying to catch up and be a driver running for the lead. You can hear the downshift, trying to get as much speed and acceleration off the corner as he possibly can, and he does so, but not enough, as Saucier is going to pull right back on by and right back to the front of the pack. Chris Cinnamon now in a battle with Ryan Ducom. Cinnamon gets loose on the inside. Ducom going to fight back on the outside line. And Ducom is going to stay in that second spot. Cinnamon now going to almost fall to the clutches of Stephen Thomas. Battles further back as it's a hornet's nest back here with the dog leg. Kyle Hess works his way on by Ted Wade and Jacob Klinkart. Side by side now with Wade and Klinkart. Side by side behind them with Gregory and Mann, as everybody continues to fight on this racetrack. Jordan, it gets to be a little bit of a bottleneck with that dog leg, because you can see a lot of drivers elect to spread out. Some of the drivers like to stay at the front. That leads to side-by-side and 3 wide battles heading into turn 3.
And you can also see how they're all scattered out when they do hit that dog leg. The 42 of Clean Cart, I believe, gets a little loose, maybe a little bit of contact right there. He keeps it nice and straight, but you can just see the amount of damage on that 42 machine. Josh, I'm surprised there's no aero damage to him, because with the amount of scratches and bumps on that car, that is a lot of damage for a 42 machine.
Well, it's hard to tell, really, if he has aerodynamic damage, especially with this being a short track here at the Phoenix Raceway. He might have some aero damage for all we know, but Jacob Klinkart at a short track getting a little bit of a gift with it being a short track, to where if he has aero damage, not going to affect him too much as he continues to run from the 11th position currently here on the racetrack. Great run for Klinkart so far tonight. Looking to keep that running as Corey Saucier at the front of the field continues to lead. Still has led every single lap since the drop of the green flag. Trying to keep that up tonight as we are now over halfway done with this race. 70 laps to go here from Virtual Phoenix. Battle's still going on towards the back as Ted Wade and Nathan Mann get into a scrap. They're currently fighting for P7 on the racetrack. Wade trying to hold off Mann for this 7th spot. Two new faces here in the series. Gonna be a challenge for Mann to get by Wade. Last time by, Jordan, Mann was about a half-tenth quicker, but you can see just not able to get close enough to make the move. Here he goes for it down to the inside.
And you can see that's a lot of pressure too, because he doesn't want to really mess up the run he gets right now, because you just want to stay nice and consistent really fast as much as you can, because that one bit of mistake you make, like we've seen earlier in this race, can mess you up a lot. So he's really trying to keep that 29 machine consistent and as fast as possible.
Man, back to the bottom. Can't get close enough to be able to have a move work, so he'll stay in P8 for the moment. Battle of further back between Jose Luis Rivera trying to go around Jacob Klinkart. Klinkart trying to hold on. Rivera powers are on the inside, and right back up into P12 goes Jose Luis Rivera. Good run for the 97 tonight, even though he was looking for a bit extra. Got caught up in an incident during stage number 1, but here comes now Michael McKinnon to join this fray. McKinnon and Rivera. McKinnon also trying to get by Jacob Klinkart as Rivera gets a tap to the inside wall. And now McKinnon trying to get that 13th spot away from the 97 of Jose Luis Rivera. You are now on board with Michael McKinnon. Trying to race from P14 and get himself around the number 97 of Jose Luis Rivera. Can't do it. McKinnon stays P14. Here's another run back to the inside to go for that spot. Is he going to clear him is the big question. Here comes Raul Meza to join the fight. McKinnon clears Rivera. Cannot hold back Meza. Meza now to the inside. Meza going to go side by side with Rivera now for P14 on this racetrack. But McKinnon's now going to run away with that P13. A great run from McKinnon so far tonight. Jordan trying to claw his way up to the front after a P16 starting spot. A bit uncharacteristic from the 13 to start that low down.
You know, definitely we really see him in that top pack, so he's made up about 3 positions tonight, which is not too bad. He's making his way up into that top 10, so he's got a really tough field here tonight because everyone is so fast. He isn't really fast himself, but he just needs that extra push of momentum to really push himself to get up higher into that top 10. You can see he's really starting to catch the 42 of Jacob Klinkart, so interesting to see if he will make a move to get into P number 12.
Battle for third continues between Cinnamon and Thomas. Thomas looking for that spot, and going to be an important spot for Thomas to get. Of course, Stephen Thomas being the points leader at this point seems just a tad bit redundant to be talking about a good points day for Stephen Thomas, but that is still important for him, Jordan. He wants consistent finishes. Of course, he's leading the points by, I believe, still more than 100 points, but consistent finishes will lead him into the playoffs, give him more momentum to go run for the championship.
And you can see how focused he is, and like you were saying, even though you're over 100 points in the lead, I still feel like there is that push that he wants to just get more and more to keep on going. And you can see a driver dives down into the pit lane. That's the 81 of Taylor Peacock. So Josh, I'm wondering if this is going to be the point in this race where we might start seeing green flag pit stops. So only time will tell, and I'm very curious to know what is going to exactly happen in the next coming laps.
Peacock is 5 laps down, so not sure if it's a scheduled pit stop for the 81, but either way, we are now inside of that pit window. Believe it was described as just about 65 laps that you could make it under green flag when it comes to the fuel window. So I think we are going to continue to see drivers come down into the pit lane, especially now as we go into a portion of the race where if you do pit, you will be good to the end on fuel. I would also expect a handful of drivers to try and stretch it as far as they possibly can. Klinkart and Meza go right on by Michael McKinnon. Looks like he might have made a little bit of a mistake, but here's the crossover. McKinnon goes for that spot once again on Meza. Meza back to the bottom. They go side by side into turns 3 and 4. And Meza cannot get there on McKinnon. McKinnon's going to hold on to that 13th spot. Field has spaced themselves out. These are the closest battles on the racetrack between Klinkart, McKinnon, and Meza. As we go into a triple box, McKinnon on the top box, Klinkart on the bottom, as they race out of turn number 4, battling for the 12th spot on the racetrack currently. And Jordan, once again, just interesting to see McKinnon this far down the running order. We've seen some great runs from him as he makes a little bit of contact with Meza, or Meza makes a little bit of contact with him, I should say. But Klinkart holding on. He took 2 tires on the last pit stop, and he's still running in P12. Really good spot, and being able to race from P12 as well. Not even falling back. He's able to race from this spot on 2 tires that he took on the stage break.
And it really looks like that 42 machine is just sticking to the track, so maybe that's a strategy here at Phoenix. You know, yes, taking 4 tires is one of those strategies, but taking 2 right side tires can definitely be one too. One, it saves you time, and it can just make you good for that long run. And so I think that's what you're going to be looking for here tonight, is who gets out of that pit lane first, and if that 2-side tire will work. And you can see McKinnon getting to the left side door of Klinkart. He's going to try and clear him, but Klinkart is right there on the outside line, and the 13 does it. All he's got to do is really stay all that. With all the momentum he has right now, he's just got to keep going forward, because the 42 machine is right on his tail, followed by Raul Meza in the 93.
Big challenge for McKinnon to get by Jacob Klinkart, but he is able to do it. Up into P12 goes the number 13 machine. 53 laps to go. It'll be 50 to go this time by, or sorry, 52 to go this time by. Closing in on 50 to go. Stephen Thomas has definitely kept Chris Cinnamon reeled in, but now Corey Saucier starting to put a couple drivers 1 lap down, as Thomas will work his way around the number 48. of Robbie Richards, who is currently 14 laps down. Main goal for Thomas right now, keep Chris Cinnamon in his sights to be able to pass him a little bit further down the line. Cinnamon doing an amazing job running in P3 currently tonight. A great run for Cinnamon, up 6 spots from where he started. Saucier and Thomas currently exactly where they began this race. Brady LaBeouf, Stephen Gregory trading spots. As it looks like, oh, Stephen Gregory's into the pit lane. Not sure if that is a scheduled pit stop for the number 61 or if that is a damage prompted stop. I guess we'll find out. He's into the pit lane. And I believe it is a damage prompted stop. I don't think that is going to lead to a huge wave of pit stops. We will soon find out, as Corey Saucier will come by the pit entry. He's not electing to come in, but green flag pit stops are on the horizon. We'll take a short break here on Racecraft TV, but don't worry, you won't miss a minute of the action as we go side by side. Green flag pit stops and the conclusion of stage number 3 is coming up after this.
This is our series,
So many different pieces that you have to watch out for.
where the stakes are always higher,
$300,000.
where virtual meets reality,
How bad do you want it? They're wasting no time getting at it.
where the best thrive and the flawless win. This is the NASRA Coca-Cola iRacing Series.
This is iRacing, the world's premier online racing game. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat to experience today's newest form of competitive motorsport, virtual racing, all from your home PC. Race virtually in endorsed series from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, the World of Outlaws, Aussie Supercars, and more. Take on legendary circuits like Daytona, Silverstone, and the Nürburgring. Join iRacing's global online racing community and get on track today at iRacing.com.
Yellow flag out on the racetrack for the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series. Blake Lothian getting into a bit of trouble. Let's see where exactly on the racetrack it was. This was going down into turn number 1, side by side with Jacob Klinkart in the number 42. I believe this happened right about in turn 3. Through the dog leg. It was about right here where something happened. Oh, the 42 came down and makes contact with the 59, sends Lothian up and into the wall. And that was definitely enough to put us back under the yellow flag as the field works their way into the pit lane. So Corey Saucier is in. He gets out of the pit lane first. Ryan Ducom, Chris Cinnamon, Stephen Thomas, Kyle Hess, the top 5 as they exit the pit lane. Corey Saucier still leading the way, and just what a dominant day from that number 25 machine, Jordan. Led every single lap, has not gone away from that first spot, and just utter domination here from Virtual Phoenix. I think it's going to be a very unhappy night for Saucier if he somehow ends up losing this race, and we don't want to jinx him, but this is going to be a huge win for Corey Saucier. If he is able to get it, a win in his first start is undoubtedly huge for whoever you are.
And, you know, definitely with the momentum he's had all night, the 55 of Ryan Ducom right behind him, they both are new faces like we've mentioned a lot throughout tonight. So they've been doing very well together. They've been running together, Josh, pretty much, I would say, this whole race. So the new faces are really the ones that are really dominating tonight, especially here at Phoenix. But if they run together, a P1 and 2 finish for the both of them is still a great walk away from Phoenix here tonight.
Cinnamon, Thomas, and Hess round out the top 5. And talking about short tracks this season, Taylor Peacock, of course, winning at Martinsville. Dustin Scruggs won at Bristol. You can go as far back. Maybe you can count it as a short track. Of course, it is covered in dirt. Bristol Dirt Track. Kyle Hess was the winner there. Robbie Richards has been so strong on intermediates. Keith Bradley strong on road courses and road course type racetracks. He won at Daytona Road and at Pocono. Stephen Thomas, his only win of the season came at Gateway. Similarities you can draw between Phoenix and Gateway. There's a handful of them. So we could see Stephen Thomas be pretty strong here. Brady LaBeouf win at Vegas. Could be watching him to maybe work his way back up towards the front. LaBeouf currently running P12 on the racetrack. 40 to go and we come to the start-finish line, and we'll go Racecraft TV Sounds of Speed here from Virtual Phoenix. It's Corey Saucier leading us back to the stripe. Caution flag incident towards the back, and it looks like Brady LaBeouf turned around on the front straightaway. Let's take a look at the replay and see how this began. It began with 3 wide. McKinnon up the middle. Where did this go south for Brady LaBeouf in the 9? You can see the race leader get loose, and then I believe it was contact. The 95 of Bill Lester gets turned around as well. Oh no, you got loose. Overcorrected, middle of the pack. Meza into the wall. Contact with Mata as well. And he eventually came to rest right there on the front straightaway. But that puts us back under the yellow flag, and a new leader for the first time tonight. New face at the front, Ryan Ducom in the number 55. Another one of the new faces to this series, and we were asking Jordan how long it would take if anybody would be able to get around Saucier. One loose moment off of turn number 4 gives us our first new leader of the night.
And you know, the 55 machine was really working for it. So he sat behind the 25 the whole entire night, and he walked away with P number 1. Now, this is what I said earlier. If the 25 were to lose the lead, I think he would be right back up there in the matter of laps. But now he's got the 3 of Chris Cinnamon in P number 2 to block him from being behind the 55. So, Josh, this may be an interesting restart, because the 25 is definitely I would think, a little mad because he got loose, which is definitely not what you want when you're leading the race for the whole entire time. And so the 25 machine, I can see him really pushing that machine so hard to try and get around the 3 and get back to the bumper of that 55, because those two are racing bumper to bumper this whole entire race. It's just a matter of time when that door opened, which the 25 did get loose. So I'm really looking forward to this restart, because those two were definitely the eyes to watch here tonight.
Brand new faces at the front. And like you mentioned, Jordan, they are definitely some to watch as we work our way, still under the yellow flag here once again for another caution on the racetrack. It'll be 34 laps to go when we retake the green flag. Would like to remind you of course, all of the upcoming events here in the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series. Chicagoland Raceway, 1 week's time. Then we go to the virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway to begin the playoffs. Then the Daytona International Speedway, the Kansas Speedway, the Nashville Super Speedway, the Richmond Raceway, Nashville and Richmond being both of those races in the Elite 8 round of the playoffs. So we'll take the 16 drivers that race from Atlanta, Daytona, and Kansas, take the top 8 from those, and go racing in the Elite 8 round. Then Nashville, Richmond, and then we'll cut them down to 4 and go racing at the virtual Charlotte Motor Speedway on December 10th for the championship round of the season. And you do not want to miss that one. You can catch that right here live on Racecraft TV when we crown a champion here in the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series. Getting ready to take that green flag once again. Go back to racing. Ducom, for the first time, is going to lead the field back to the green flag. Chris Cinnamon to his outside. Corey Saucier, Stephen Thomas, Devin Painter, the current top 5. Can Ducom get a good start? Run away with the front? Or will Cinnamon or Saucier have anything to say about it? 34 to go from Phoenix, and we're back underway. Cinnamon with a bad start, gonna go down into P3. He's gonna have a little bit of pressure from Stephen Thomas behind, but he's able to clear him. Ducom now to the front, but here comes Corey Saucier. How quickly can the 25 catch up, Jordan? Saucier has been the dominant truck all night, but a new truck out in front. How's he going to deal with it? He's drag racing him down the front straightaway, looks to the inside and one, and already taking the lead back is going to be Corey Saucier, and the dominant car this entire race continues.
And just like that, the 25 takes over that lead. But now, Josh, we got Chris Cinnamon and everybody in the picture now. They're all up together. Cinnamon looks to the inside of the 55 machine of Ryan Ducom, but the 25 of Corey Saucier really wanted that lead back so much that he didn't even make Ducom last at least 2 to 3 laps. So that just shows you how much this 25 wants that win and how much it means to him here tonight.
Back to the front goes Saucier. Can he stay there? We've seen him pull away every time he has gotten that clean air. Exactly what he is doing now as he gets in front of Ducom, but Ducom with a little bit of a send to the inside, trying to get there. Side by side, Kyle Hess versus Nathan Mann, as Hess is going to work his way by the 29, albeit just for a moment. We go on board with Kyle Hess. You are on board with the 86 now. He is able to get back up into P6, past Nathan Mann in the 29. Ted Wade, Joey Doucette, Michael McKinnon rounding out your top 10 currently on the racetrack, is back into 1. Hess able to protect that spot from Mann. Back up here towards the front, Stephen Thomas goes to the inside of Chris Cinnamon, looking for that spot. Not close enough to get there yet. Looks like this time by it will be enough. He's still side by side with him, though, as they continue to battle. Stephen Thomas, left side of your screen. And the right side of your screen is the battle that he is currently in. The battle for P3 on the racetrack. And joining that fight now is Devin Painter there in the 64. He might have an opportunity to run up here with these top drivers. And Painter, again, Jordan, one of the drivers that we talk about so often, still has not been able to get away with that first win.
And we've seen him take away multiple stage wins because those first two stages can be really easy when it comes to racing, but that final stage, I feel like there's a little more pressure because you want to go for that race win, and I think that's what the 64 of Devin Painter has against him right now. So if he can come away with at least 2 stage wins at one of our racetracks, and even a good finish here tonight, that could definitely look him into a way of walking into victory lane for the first time here this season.
Gonna have to catch Corey Saucier at the front, who's already put about 8 tenths on Ryan Ducom in second place. Still battling back here is Hess, Mann, and Wade. Hess, Mann, and Wade 6th, 7th, and 8th on the racetrack at the moment as they currently stand. And they fight back into turns turns 1 and 2. Man right down to the bottom, not able to get close enough to make a move on Hess, but Hess is not exactly one of the faster trucks on the racetrack tonight. Definitely can be beat, and that is exactly what that number 29 is trying to do of Nathan Mann. As they race back to the back straightaway. Hess trying to hold on to P6. And Jordan, right now, we're entering a bit of a longer run. Drivers starting to space themselves out. Gonna be increasingly difficult to catch up to a driver and be able to make a move on them, be able to pass them to get any further up in the running order. And that's important now with 24 to go as time continues to run out.
And that's the thing, a lot of these drivers are really locked into where they want to be, so they're really fighting for that spot that they want, and if you go to pass them, they may not be the one to really want to pass, because you pass them, they're going to be right there on your bumper, so you got to be really careful, because 1, you don't want to wreck yourself out, and 2, you don't want to lose your momentum. So if you're going to pass someone, you might want to gather some momentum from maybe somebody else to have enough power to get around them in order so you can clear them. But this far into the race, I don't think anyone is going to want to really let down the positions they're in and just want to fight forward to get up into that top part of the pack.
Trying the best they can, obviously, and we stay focused on the battle for third between Cinnamon and Thomas currently on the racetrack. Back into 1 and 2. Dominant performance from Cinnamon tonight to run here pretty much top 5 for the majority of the race since he got here. Started P9. Hasn't been up front too much, but has been up front just enough to where we're talking about him a bit more than normal. And Chris Cinnamon, one of the drivers who shows up pretty much weekly when it comes to the Triple M pulling truck series here for NASRA, and great to see more drivers coming week in, week out, and being mainstays of the series, Jordan. And exactly what we have of Chris Cinnamon, been here pretty much every round, still looking for win number 1, but he got so close at Gateway, and just so unfortunate to see when he lost that race, but going for more. And I think if we did not have Corey Saucier or Ryan Ducom both making their first start tonight, he might be looking down at his first win.
And he's running really, really consistent. So, Josh, I wouldn't be surprised in these next 20 laps he tries to get himself up a little higher. Yes, he's in third, which is definitely that spot where you can sort of really take when you walk out of a racetrack. But you never know, the 3 may want more, and he might want to get in front of the 55 of Ducom. But we're going to take another caution. Not too sure who it is that is involved here tonight. but curious to really know exactly who bring out the yellow flag.
Not sure who it was. We will find out here just in a moment. I believe it might have been Joey Doucette. There was an incident on the racetrack to bring out the yellow. Not sure who exactly was involved. It might have been... We'll find out here. We're going to go back to a replay on the... We'll go back to a replay on the number 1, or on Joey Doucette from lap number 132. Not sure where this caution started. Right there. Contact with Ted Wade sends Wade into man, and man goes up the racetrack. Nobody really loses it too much, but man goes up and into the wall as we grab another look at the replay. This will stack the field back up before the conclusion of this race. Contact from Doucette to Wade. Wade into man. That sent man up and out of the groove. But this puts us back under the yellow flag. Nobody at the front daring to pit. Top 6 stay out. Back from there, Hess comes in, Thomas comes in, and more. The restart. In the final closing laps of this race, we're going to be going green with inside 15 to go. You do not want to go anywhere. Chris Cinnamon wins the race off pit road. He'll start P7. Corey Saucier is going to lead the field back to green when we return. We are ready to go back to racing. You're tuning into live coverage of the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series. 14 laps to go from virtual Phoenix. Leading the field to green, Corey Saucier, the dominant car all day long. We are back underway. And Saucier with another dynamite start. Ducom can't do anything. He'll slide into line as they exit turn 2. Saucier gonna run away with that lead, but it's a hornet's nest in the back as everybody fans out through the dog leg. 2x2, 3x3, multiple drivers going for positions late in this race. Chris Cinnamon on 4 fresh tires. The first driver in this field, or excuse me, the second driver in this field on fresh tires. The first one Or no, it is Chris Cinnamon. Blake Lothian was one of the drivers that stayed out. He's on 30-lap old tires. Chris Cinnamon is on 4-lap old tires. Jordan Cinnamon might have this race in the bag with 13 to go if he uses these fresh tires well. And here's the battle for the lead. Ducom to the inside, Associé.
They're trying to stay all consistent because they've got 13 to go, 12 at the line, so it's not the most amount of time, but, you know, any door can open at this time, so you really got to take your chances as if you really want to go for that lead right now, or do you want to maybe wait a little longer? So the question is, will Chris Cinnamon end up pushing for that lead? He's got a little bit of room to really make up, but Josh, any open door can really help that 3 machine right now.
Take a look on the timing tower. Saucier and Ducom. Their current stint, which means the laps since their last pit stop, is 32. So that means they are on 32 lap old fresh Goodyear tires. Caution flag is going to refly. Around in the back, Blake Lothian hooks up with Eric Zimmerman. And we are back under the yellow flag. This could change things in a multitude of ways. Here's the replay. They entered into turn number 1, and it looks like, oh, Bullock came up a little bit too much. The 16 of, sorry, Joey Doucette came up a little bit too much. Zimmerman nowhere to go, ends up slamming into the 59. But that brings us back under the yellow flag, and Jordan, Saucier, and Ducom are in an interesting spot because if they pit here, they are going to be way down the order, but they will be on fresher tires, but only by a handful of laps. Chris Cinnamon might legitimately be in the best possible place for this race win because he is on 26 lap fresher tires than the 2 drivers in front of him, and they're getting stacked back up for a restart.
And that's what I'm really thinking. Are the P1 and 2 drivers really thinking to go into pit lane? Because they only have 9 laps to go. We'll probably be going back racing with about, I want to say, 7 to go. So that is not a lot of time at all, especially when you're all the way down the order. So that'd be a lot of work. But this is opening the door for the 3 of Chris Cinnamon because, yes, he's got some new, fresh Goodyear tires. He's got 2 fast competitors in front of him, but will they take that opt-out to pit lane and try and make something really work here tonight?
How much can they make work? Specifically talking about Chris Cinnamon. Remember, drivers behind him, Devin Painter, Stephen Thomas, Joey Doucette, Kyle S., all the way down to Stephen Gregory. So from 3rd to 10th, all are on the freshest tires in this race. Now the freshest tires go to Jeffrey Sickles. He pitted under this yellow flag, but he is way down, last driver on the lead lap, P19. We're not worried about him here in this fight for the lead. Big question is, can Chris Cinnamon just hold on here at the front? This is the big moment for Cinnamon. Remember, we've been talking about him all night tonight, that this is just about his best effort so far this season when it comes to the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series. Still looking for race win number 1 on the season. With him being on the freshest tires here, Jordan, Saucier and Ducom on 35 lap old ones, he could be the winner tonight and gonna be huge for the 3 if he were to do that. But talk about the drivers behind him. Devin Painter, Stephen Thomas, Joey Doucette. I just listed off 2 drivers, Painter and Doucette, who are still looking for their first race wins of the season as well. Stephen Thomas looking for his race win number 2 of the season. Saucier and Ducom both looking for their first wins, but they're caught with their pants down at the front of the field on old tires. This finish is gonna be intense with 6 to go.
I'm curious to know who will cross that line first. And Josh, will it be a crazy finish like we did at Talladega? Because these drivers are really looking for a win because, like you said, a lot of them are looking for their first. So when you're going for your first win, you want to really make it really count. So you really want to have that run and really make all that hard work pay off. So a lot of drivers towards the front are really looking for their first win. It's just a matter of time before that green flag drops.
6 to go. 6 laps to settle it. Will we see any more restarts? Or will this be the last one? Only time is going to tell. Saucier, Ducom, Cinnamon, Painter, Thomas, your current top 5. Ready to go. Back to racing from Phoenix. The green flag flies. And with 6 laps to go, Ducom protects the second spot. Almost had an opportunity to go for a crossover, but Saucier covers the spot. Through the dogleg, 5 to go this time by. They fan out. Ducom trying to hold off Cinnamon, but Cinnamon is a hard charger. Now to the outside. Cinnamon is side by side with Painter. Across the line this time by. 5 laps to go. And Cinnamon's turned. Cinnamon gets turned from Painter. Caution flag is going to fly. And the great night for Cinnamon is going to end in a spin on the front straightaway. Jordan, we were wondering if Cinnamon could get up to the front. He went for it. But off the front of the 64 at Devin Painter, it all came apart.
You know, definitely the toughest break for a driver, I really think. You know, we never want to see that happen here, especially when these drivers are racing so hard with 4 laps to go. So when you're up in that top 3 for so long, it's definitely one of those heartbreakers when you get turned. You could see the 64 makes the slightest contact, and it just sends that 3 machine into the inside wall. So a heartbreaking night for the 3 machine and team, and just definitely not Chris Cinnamon's night here tonight at Phoenix.
This opens the door for Thomas, Painter, and I would go as far as to say Joey Doucette at the front of this field to possibly walk away with this race win. And this is going to become an intense finish. First of all, we will be entering into overtime because we have 3 to go here. Even if we grab the 1 to go signal next time by, we're still going to be entering into overtime. So it'll be the first out of 2 attempts that are green-white checkered finished tonight. And now with these cautions, Jordan, Saucier and Ducom basically getting gifted a lot of luck here because they're able to have enough tire to get a good launch off of the restart. Not really be good over a consecutive run, but we haven't gotten to that point yet because I don't think we've gone more than 2 laps when they're on the when they're on the old tires and everybody else on the fresh tires. So we haven't really seen a run develop. And now as we go into overtime, I think Saucier might have this race in the bag just because he can work those old tires just enough for a short run to be able to get himself to the checkered flag here.
And that's the most pressure that you can get too, because when a lot of drivers behind you are on fresher tires, you're just really questioning yourself. What do I do? How do I make this work? And so I guarantee that's what the 25 and the 55 are really thinking right now. They're like trying to really make their trucks work and stick to that bottom line. They've only got a few laps to go, but they've got the 23 of Stephen Thomas behind them, and they've got the 64 of Devin Painter behind them as well, and they got a lot more behind them. Just they got to keep their eyes straight and really keep their momentum high because they've been doing one heck of a job this whole entire night. To see it all fall down, I cannot see it happening at all. So these drivers staying consistent is the main factor here with around 2 to go or maybe 1 to go.
We'll be heading into overtime, and I believe the lights will be out on the pace truck this time by. If you've never seen a broadcast with overtime in it, well, here's exactly how it works. We'll take the green flag. We'll race 1 lap. If a caution does not be called on that green flag lap, then we go racing once again for a second overtime attempt. If there's no caution flag on that green flag lap and they take the white flag, no caution can be called and the race is official. So green-white checkered attempt number 1. At the front, it's Saucier, Ducom, Thomas, Painter, and Doucette. the current top 5. Who is going to walk away with the victory from Phoenix? Will it be one of the top 2 and walk away with either one of their first race wins of the season? Or will it be Stephen Thomas grabbing race win number 2 on the season for him? Did Painter or Doucette or Manor has to have anything to say about it here at the front? Pace car is down and away. Green flag is back out. First attempt at overtime is underway. And out in the front, it's Saucier grabbing the early jump. Ducom, Thomas, Painter, Mann back from there. Saucier is running away at the front of this field, trying to walk away with his first race win in his first ever start. Crosses the start-finish line. White flag is out. 1 to go for Corey Saucier. Side by side for P2 between Ducom and Painter. Painter on the outside. Ducom trying to protect the inside line as they come down the back straightaway and into turn number 3 and 4. First race ever for Saucier. They wreck in the back, but across the line, pole, stage win, 2 stage wins, and the race win for Corey Saucier in his first start. He is a winner in the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series. One start, never fell out of the podium places, and Corey Saucier grabs the win from Phoenix. What a run, Jordan, for the number 25 tonight.
You know, that's definitely one to celebrate because we don't see that much where you come in your first race, you win your first stage, you win your second stage, and you just walk away and go into victory lane. A nice celebratory donut right there for the 25 team. A great night for him and an outstanding job at the new face of Corey Saucier in that 25 machine. A great way to win and introduce himself here in the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series.
What a run for Saucier in the 25. He grabs the race win. Kyle S in P2. Keith Bradley, Stephen Thomas, Nathan Mann, your top 5. Ted Wade, Ryan Ducom, Brady LaBeouf, Chris Cinnamon, and Jose Luis Rivera, your top 10. Devin Painter, Blake Lothian, Stephen Gregory, Jacob Klinkart with Raul Meza, the top 15. Michael McKinnon, Taylor Peacock, Robbie Richards, Ronald Cole, and Jeffrey Sickles, the top 20. Back from there, it's Logan Quinn, Eric Zimmerman, Clint Mata, Bill Lester, Joey Doucette, Brandon Bullock, Dane Hagan, Cody Knott, and Brett Wilvers, rounding out the full field of drivers here for the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series from virtual Phoenix. And what a way to end a night of racing here from Phoenix. First race, first win for Corey Saucier at the front of this field. We bring him into the commentary booth with us now. Corey, what a run. Pole position, stage 1 win, stage 2 win, and then the race win. Talk about how much this means to you. Start number 1, and you've already got a win and 2 stage wins under your belt.
It means a lot. Definitely was not expecting that kind of outcome, but you know, just this is a good track for me. Love the shorter tracks. Feel like that's kind of my specialty. So was happy to start here and just kind of show everybody what I'm made of.
You definitely did that tonight. And with staying out under that yellow flag, did you feel a little bit of a pit in your stomach when you saw everybody else pretty much pit behind you, and then suddenly you have drivers with 30 lap fresher tires than you breathing down your neck? Did you think at one point that you would end up losing that lead?
Yeah, I felt like if that went for a long green flag run all the way to the end, I probably was going to get caught, especially by the number 3. He was pretty fast all night, hanging behind Ryan. So I definitely thought at some point he would catch up to me and probably pass me for the win. But you know, I just figured that strategy made sense at the time, and it just paid off.
And 1 week's time, we go racing in Chicagoland. Can you bring some more of that special running here from Phoenix to Chicagoland in 1 week's time?
We're certainly going to try. Not one of my better tracks, but we'll see what we can do. Start a little bit of practice here, and hopefully we have a good run.
Well, thank you very much for joining us here in the commentary booth, Corey, and congratulations on your first ever win here in the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series here from Virtual Phoenix.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Great to hear from Corey Saucier, race winner, and we transition over to Ryan Ducom, who finishes P2 on the night here from Virtual Phoenix, and unfortunately just wasn't meant to be, Ryan, but you were strong at the front of the field. How did that car feel out there tonight?
Oh, the car felt great, and I didn't have anything for Corey all night. I think I got by him once, but I let him right back by fairly quickly. But yeah, the truck was fast all night. Just didn't have enough. I thought we actually were going to be kind of screwed there at the end, but we didn't pit, but it worked out.
And like you mentioned, just thinking that it was all over when you did not come into the pits and you saw those drivers on fresh tires. Did you think that with these short runs, with all these back-to-back cautions that we were getting, that you might have had a chance to try and get around Saucier, maybe trying to conserve your tires a little bit more?
I don't think I had anything for Corey, but the only thing that kind of gave me a little hope is I saw that we weren't the only ones that stayed out. So I knew that the guys on fresh tires would have to, work through a little bit of traffic. And me and Corey were getting great jumps all night. So as long as we got a good jump, I felt pretty confident.
Moving into Chicagoland 1 week's time, where's the confidence level at? Can you walk away with another great finish there from the Windy City?
Yeah, I'm pretty strong at Chicagoland, so definitely looking forward to it. Had a great race tonight, and just looking to keep the momentum going for next week.
Thank you very much for joining us here in the commentary booth, Ryan, and congratulations on your second place finish here from Phoenix.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Great to hear from Ryan Ducom, your second place finisher tonight. We transition over to Stephen Thomas in the number 23. First of all, Stephen, thank you for giving us your camera tonight, and we get a great look at you as we do the interview here post-race. But strong night from you. You keep your points lead at the front, but couldn't do anything for that top two. How's the truck feeling out there tonight?
It felt good, and I felt very comfortable coming into this race. And then I noticed, I guess during practice and qualifying, I told my teammate, I said, "You watch, man, I will run a really good race tonight and finish behind the new guys." Sometimes I didn't realize it was going to be two of them, but yeah, if it wasn't for the newcomers there, I guess I would have got my second win of the season here. But man, that was a good race. Between all of them, they're both very clean and really fast, so looks like it'll be fun next season if they stay with us.
And working your way now closer to the playoffs, we'll get to your thoughts on Chicagoland here in just a moment, but just talking about the season as a whole, is the one win in the win column worrying you at all at Gateway, or do you think that your consistency at the front and being basically at the front of the point standings for a majority of the season is going to be enough confidence for you to work your way through the rounds and be in the championship and run for the championship at Charlotte in December?
I mean, I definitely think my consistency will take me hopefully to the Final Four. I think I'll get through the playoffs. I mean, I've done really good this season, just staying out of trouble, finding, the right people to run with and stay there until the end of the race, man, except for a couple races with some bad luck. But, I mean, I feel like that's the trick, especially in this league, man. We have a lot of aggressive drivers, and there's a lot of cautions, especially at the end of stages and races. So, yeah, man, if I can just stay clean and stay in the front like I did tonight, man, it'll definitely carry me through the playoffs, but it's going to come down to that final race, and we're just going to have to push it, be aggressive that final race. Hopefully that's the way it works out.
Yeah, in Chicagoland in 1 week's time, a bit of a preview of what we're going to see with Charlotte and with the first round with two of the tracks in the first round of the playoffs, Atlanta and Kansas, when we go to another intermediate. Where's the confidence level for you at intermediates? Because it looks like it's been relatively consistent for you, but your one win is on more of a short track than it is an intermediate.
Man, yeah, I don't guess I really have. I like every track, but super speedways, man. Super speedways is just pure luck. You got to be in the right place at the right time. So put me anywhere that's not a super speedway, and I should be okay. Like I said, just stay out of trouble and stay consistent, man.
Well, thank you for joining us here post-race, Steven. Congratulations on your third place here from Virtual Phoenix.
Yeah, man. Thanks to all you guys, man. This broadcast stuff is fun, and y'all got some cool stuff working, man. I want to thank Michael and Brady for setting all this stuff up, and everybody else involved. I know there's other admins and stuff, but I appreciate it, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you. That's Steven Thomas, your third place finisher here from Virtual Phoenix, and that wraps up an carnage-filled night, I think, to say the least, here from Phoenix. A lot of spins, a lot of spills, but at the end of the night, we crown a brand new race winner, and that is just fantastic to see here in the NASRA Triple M Pulling Truck Series. 1 week's time, we go racing from virtual Chicagoland. Same time, 8:50 p.m. Eastern Time, Friday, October 22nd. You can catch the final race of the regular season from virtual Chicagoland before we get going into the playoffs. A great night of racing here from Virtual Phoenix wraps its way up, and a huge congratulations to the race winner tonight, the number 25 of Corey Saucier. Race win number 1 for him. Fantastic to see. Great success already for the number 25 of Corey Saucier. And amazing to see another new race winner here in the series. That'll do it for our coverage here on Racecraft TV. For Brady LaBeouf at the North American Sim Racing Association, and for Josh Edmondson at Racecraft TV, for my colleague in the booth, Jordan Hicks, my name is Joshua Lee. Thank you for joining us for the Duel in the Desert 150 from Virtual Phoenix, and we will see you in 1 week's time from Virtual Chicagoland as the North American Sim Racing Association Triple M Pulling Truck Series season continues.